Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy the Strongest Wizard, and tonight is indeed fight night, and we have another OP06 match here for you guys. We got my man Swish on the left hand side rocking out that Charlotte Katakuri, as well as myself on the right with Uta. Now I do have to say I'm very excited for this match, just because I am a huge green fan. If you know me, you've been following my channel for at some time at all, you know I love green, and I actually think this deck is a sleeper pick currently in this meta. So let's see exactly what I can do. We're going to start things off with a new Genesis, searching top 3 here for, of course, a film card, and that's going to go ahead and be that Nami and passing the turn. Now, I am very fortunate that he did not see Pudding turn 1 because Pudding turn 1 is so good, but we are going to see that Pero. Now, quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is DXN Outpost, DXN Provisions, the only place where I get all my sealed product. And guys, right now on their site, newly designed site by the way, they have a ton of sealed product on there right now, including starter decks as well as double packs. So if you're interested in any of that really good stuff, check out the link below. So we did see a 5k swing going into life here, of course, with that Pero, and now I am debating if I want to pitch a card. I'm actually gonna take it here, and now we see another card here. Now the only reason why I did take up the first one is just because I figured he would play the Gadatsu, and if he didn't, I would bait him to kind of swing heavier so that the second attack would connect, just because I want my Nami to live, which is the main reason why I played her from my hand without playing the Brook so that I got the value off of the Nami. Now I'm going to go ahead and 2k counter out of this attack, and we do see the Gadatsu. Unfortunately, it is what it is, but it's yellow. It's what to be expected, honestly. And my hand is a bit clunky. It's a little bit weird. I don't have too many big bodies on the board, as well as for the fact that I want to keep countering my hand, just because in this matchup I want to keep as much counter as I possibly can. Unfortunately for me, I'm not going to be facing a blue Pudding, which is an absolute nightmare against this deck. But we do see a 7k swing going into live, and unfortunately I bottom decked the 8-cost kid. You hate to see it, but it is what it is. He does end up taking it, no trigger. Very thankful for that, of course. And now I'm debating here how I want to proceed, and I'm actually going to go ahead and blacklight that character right there. Now I probably should have, no, yeah, I blacklight that character. I was debating here whether to say that I probably should have rested the Gadatsu and swung into the Gadatsu, but I'm okay with my decision. Getting one off the board isn't too bad, and yes, there's a 6k body on the board still, but I think it'll be okay. We'll see how it goes. Now we did see the Pudding here grabbing the 10 cost Big Mom. That's actually very bad for me. Obviously 10 cost Big Mom is an absolutely good card in general. So we do see a 9k swing going into life. I have to take this, as well as following up with another 9k swing, leaving the card on the top, so most likely be a trigger here, and I do end up grabbing that life. Now I am currently sitting at 2 life only to his 4, so that's pretty scary. 6k into the Gadatsu here. I want to dwindle his hand as well as get rid of these bodies, and unfortunately that Izo does go to the bottom, and now you see the 7 cost Luffy coming down with that Uta. What I really like about Luffy in this deck against this matchup is that essentially it's never going to get removed unless they're running 8 cost Kata, which is pretty rare now these days. So we see a 7k swing going to life. He leaves it on the top. I'm gonna go ahead and take it. I do have a trigger, which is that I am invincible, but no real reason to play here. And now we see the Big Mom, the 7 cost coming down. I end up pitching my life, which is at Zoro, and we are gonna see a 7k swing going into life. I obviously have to block this. I'm gonna go ahead and block it and then pitch the Mihawk to do so. Now Mihawk would have been fantastic in this early game, but I feel like Mihawk is like, if you don't play it the first few turns in any game, it's just a 2k counter after that, right? So we do see a 6k swing going into the Gadatsu here. I finally grab a Brook off of that leader ability. I think the first time this game it actually hits, which is pretty nice. And now we're going to see a 7k swing going into life, and we do see a trigger, which is going to be that Sanji, of course. Now he's going to have to pitch a card in order to play this, and hopefully it's a card that we would rather not see, and he's actually going to pitch the Amuru, and now we see the 8-cost kid, the menacing, dropping the Uta, attaching one Dawn, Uta ability, dropping the I'm Invincible to restand Luffy. Now, the reason why I pitched the I'm Invincible is because I already have one in hand, and with such a big board, eventually the I'm Invincibles with the math gets a bit cloggy, so I'd rather just pitch it now, keep my Luffy alive. Probably no real threat of it actually going down, but I could actually keep a lot of my characters alive if I keep the Luffy here. he definitely could go pretty crazy here, but we are going to see an easy AK swing going into life. I'm going to pitch the Brook, and now we see the 10 cost Big Mom coming down. Now, obviously, the route that he ended up going, he ended up just swinging 8K. I probably could have just kept the Luffy arrested, but you know, it is what it is. We live and we learn. And now we are going to see a 9K swing. I'm actually going to swing a 9 into the Lin Lin. He's going to go ahead and pitch a 2K, and I'm very happy. I'm happy enough to get cards out of his hand. And we see that Uta ability fail once again, followed by a 2K counter. He wants to keep his life nice and healthy. So I am debating here if I want to swing with that Luffy now, that 7 cost. And this is a bit of a think turn, just because am I safe enough to do so? Because I only have one event card in my hand, which is another I Am Invincible, like I did mention before. And so I'm thinking to myself, if I play a Luffy right now, if I swing with this Luffy, am I safe enough to do so? You know, I'm a bit scared. I'm a bit scared. This is still yellow, guys. You know what I'm saying? This is still yellow. And honestly, too, I can also just swing into that Lin Lin. I don't have to go for life. I can play it safe. If the Lin Lin goes down, or even the Sanji, that wouldn't be that bad. And even though I know 8 into 8 is like kind of a lot and kind of a waste, I am still getting cards out of his hand, right? So we do see an 8K swing going into 8. Now, hopefully, he does pitch a 2K counter, which he ends up doing. I'm going to go ahead and drop the 7 cost Luffy. And now I have to debate once again. Do I want to pitch the event card to restand Luffy, or am I safe enough? I think currently at this situation, I am safe enough to just keep him rested. And so I definitely think that's the smarter play. And I know what you guys are thinking, Wizard. You're at 0 life, your opponent's at 4. This is looking really rough. Yes, it can look really rough, but one thing to note, that Amaru is not live because he has 4 life still. So this is actually super good for me. Essentially, the Utas are going to stay alive unless he like rejects them, which is totally possible. We see a 12K swing going into that kid. I end up blocking with the 3 cost Uta, of course. And now he's debating here how he wants to swing. We still have the 7 cost Big Mom on board. And there's so many ways that Swish can actually proceed with this turn. Like, it's actually kind of crazy. He can swing heavy with the Big Mom, heavy with the Kata, and keep that 1 blocker alive, right? So he definitely has quite a few plays. It really all depends how he wants to proceed. And now we see 11K swing, and this is an easy 2K counters out of my hand, which I am willing to give, because now if he commits fully onto that Katakuri, the 3 cost Uta, it just goes away, and I still have 2 7 cost Luffys that are essentially unremovable, good to go, right? So now let's see here exactly how Swish wants to proceed this. And I know also, okay, wow, dropping the 7 cost Big Mom right then and there, choosing not to attack with lead. And I like this play off of Swish, being able to put another 8 cost AK body on the board to go even into Kid is really, really good. Now I have to figure out, okay, am I going for game this turn? Look at the board. Swish is essentially telling me, look, if you don't kill me this turn, I'm definitely going to do some damage or win next turn. And I'm like, man, okay. I get it. In my head, all I'm thinking, I can't go for life. He has 4 life. There's no way I win. Like I said, he has 4 life. It's yellow. It could be like double Sanji into double beige into 0 cost, into Amaru. Like, literally the possibilities are endless with yellow, and I am knowing this fact. And with an 8 cost kid on the board, I should definitely play it safe. So I'm swinging an easy 9K swing, and I'm going into that 7 cost. Okay, it's not going down, man. That 7 cost is not going down, but I'm happy to try. So we're gonna see an easy 5K swing going into life, and he does end up taking it. Do we see a trigger? It looks like we do see a trigger. What is it though? Maybe a beige? No trigger activated here. It totally could have been a bluff here. And now we see a 9 cost Zoro. Essentially, I told Swish right now, I said, look, man, if you don't win this turn, I'm gonna win next turn. Because with that 9 cost Zoro, swinging 3 times for 3 Dawn at 9k is absolutely a game changer. So we see a 12k swing going into live. I'm going to go ahead and block with that Uta. I need to play around that Amuru still, so keeping him at 3 life is insanely important here. And now with 2 active Luffy plus the kid, I essentially have 3 blockers left, and this is huge. So we see an AK swing going into life. He checks the top, leaving it at the top here, and that's an super easy 1k counter. And now it looks like we might see a 12k swing going into kid. Yes, 12k. I'm gonna actually block it with that Luffy. And do we see another 12k swing going into kid here? Yes, we do. A 12k swing going into kid, and we're gonna pass the turn. Now he only has 3 cards in his hand, and that's okay. Now the hard part is figuring out how I need to swing. Like I said before, there's Amuru's 0 cost, there's Beige's, there's Sanji's. I need to play this correctly. If I swing with leader first and I hit a Beige, I get 0 value off of that Zoro. So I'm gonna go use Blacklight here to rest the Sanji because that is a bit of an issue. I'm swinging 9k, 1 attacking ability restand for 1 Dawn. He's gonna go ahead and grab it. No trigger as well as no counter out of that 9k swing. It doesn't even bat an eye. So I'm now debating here how I want to do this. I'm thinking to myself, if I swing kid first, then I play around the fact that he beiges it, and then I can still add a Dawn, even though I can still use its ability to rest it. And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I swing Uta, he gets rid of 2 cards no matter what, which is actually the best case scenario for myself if he does so, just because that's 2 cards out of his hand. Counter in his hand is probably super weak. This is still yellow, of course, and yes, we see 2 cards coming out of his hand. And now I'm debating here to swing with Kid, use I'm Invincible, or use Zoro's ability. Now, I think the best bet here is actually to swing with Kid, just to get the value. 8k swing, it's pretty safe that it'll go through, and yes, it does. And now with my Zoro still active, I can swing with that Zoro. I still have access to its main ability, which is to restand for 2 Dawn, as well as restand Uta with I'm Invincible for 3. So we see a 9k swing going into life, and he does end up taking it. I'm going to go to use the ability here, but Swish just scoops it up here. He does not have it. Thank you guys so much for checking out this channel, watching this video, and stay tuned because I have a ton of new OP06 content coming out soon. See ya!